beep. Yeah, okay. Music for me, not for you. If you want to know what I'm listening to, search up Nightstep, the Clockmaker. That's what I'm listening to right now. Underrated remix. Like it barely has not even 1,000 views, and it's one of the greatest songs on YouTube. Ridiculous. Anyway, um, it occurs to me I talk a lot of crap about other people, but hey, I'll disparage myself right now. I took a bath this morning. I didn't shower my hair. I didn't wash my hair, and so sitting on the sauna of the bathtub, my hair became really flat and it looks like crap. So yeah, I mean, look at this frayed, unbrushed garbage. I look like a complete idiot. I look like a freaking troglodyte right now. But no, I'm gonna tell you a pretty disparaging story about myself right now, because why not? I had some neighbors that were just intolerable, just absolutely insufferable. Always making noise, no matter, always making noise. You know, if it wasn't them when they were, bratty preteens screaming and yelling at each other in the backyard all the time, when they're, just throw a bunch of rambunctious parties. Also, let's ignore our dog forever. That poor golden retriever was so absolutely attention starved and never allowed in the house for some reason. Why would you get a dog and not allow it in your house? Like, what you? I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Poor dog is perpetually in the backyard its entire life, and it's always attention starved. And it's a golden retriever; they need social interaction. And so, anytime anyone ever went into our own backyard, this dog would start barking, and it never stopped. I mean, this poor dog was so attention starved that like there was a tiny little area in the very corner of the fence that it could like see through, like an area maybe about as wide as a credit card. And if you were on the other, like, it was in its backyard looking through my backyard and then my front yard and then past the street onto the sidewalk of the other side of the street. If a person walked there, this dog would bark for 3 hours. If you went into the backyard, the dog would bark for like 5 hours. I'm not kidding. This poor dog was that attention starved. Now the problem with this is that my dad had a freaking frontal cortex brain tumor and multiple sclerosis, and he was highly sensitive to scents, smells, sounds, and noises. So to make this dog bark as little as possible, we just stopped going into our own backyard. It was pretty much an off limits area. Otherwise, this dog would bark for an entire day. It was kind of sad. And eventually, I actually went over to the house. I asked the husband and wife who came to the door, "Hey, your dog like barks a lot, like forever. I don't know if you're aware of that. Do you mind if I like take it for like walks periodically or something? Because I mean, it seems like it just needs to be taken for a walk every once in a while." And they kind of, how some parents will be like, "Don't tell me how to raise my kids." That's how they took this. It's like, "Don't tell me what to do with my dog." Slam the door. Conversation's over. It's like, all right. Now, it seemed that the only time this dog was ever inside the house is when the kids was throwing a rambunctious party in the backyard. I'm talking about rambunctious. I'm talking about someone backed up their pickup truck through the side gate into their backyard because that was the size of the speakers that they were playing the music on. Frickin' laser light disco balls type thing, Christmas light shows all over the backside of the house type deal, lighting up the night type of parties. A bunch of 16 to, I don't know, probably 25-year-old kids, because there was a lot of alcohol there. I know there was a lot of alcohol there because all the cans and bottles ended up on my side of the fence and all the vines and ivy, and I always had to clean them up. I got super sick of it. Now, keep in mind, maybe about 2 years had passed since I went and was like, "Hey, can I take your dog for a walk?" F you. Okay. I decided, all right, The husband and wife have no idea the kids are doing this on the weekends because they're never there. I go for walks around I used to go for like 7 walks a day and night around the neighborhood. I know every single person's car in their driveway, when they're home, who's there, who's visiting, who's from where, how long they're probably going to be there. I know every single thing about my neighborhood. The husband and wife's cars was never in the driveway whenever these parties was going on. It's pretty obvious. So one day I decided to just knock on the door again. Don't know why I thought anything would be any different. Hey, do you know your kids is throwing rambunctious parties on the weekend while you and your wife are away? How dare you suggest my children are anything but perfect little angels? Don't come back here ever again. And I was like, I diplomacy doesn't work on you, I can see. It's time for war. The next weekend, as expected, the kids start getting their party ready around 7 p.m. And I walked myself to Taco Bell. And I ordered 4 beef chalupa supremes. And a big drink, Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Brominated vegetable oil really helps hydrolyze and lubricate the guts. It's another way of saying Mountain Dew gives you diarrhea. On my way out, I ordered 2 more beef chalupa supremes and refilled my Baja Blast. It's about a good mile home, mile back to my home. I might be a little drunk, sorry. And it's a good walk, a stroll. Hit my feet kind of hard as I'm taking steps and strides back to my house. Don't mind shaking my stomach in the process, if you know what I'm saying. I go sit in the garden swing and listen to some Epica while I'm eating some final cataclysmic chalupa supremes, slogging it down with some Baja Blast. I sit in the swing, rocking myself gleefully back and forth, patting my very full belly, noticing that it's not that tight around my belt anymore. Around 11 o'clock, it's going to be time soon. Around 12:15, the party is completely dead. Everyone has left. There's no more noise in the backyard. I go in through the back sliding glass door. I go into the kitchen, and I acquire about 50 sheets of paper towels. I lay down about 35 of them onto the lawn and do a couple jumping jacks just for good measure, plug my nose in my ears, and try to exhale as hard as I can just to facilitate internal pressurization from my lungs pressing down into my gastrointestinal tract. It is successful. I loosen my belt, and my pants are soon around my knees as I descend and spread my cheeks over the toilet paper and unleash the poop emoji, an actual partial solid semi-liquid state globular mass the size of a small cantaloupe on top of the paper towels. I use some of them to wipe my butt, pat that on the top of it, and then somehow in some form of ancient loom wizardry, magic, and mystical heraldry, and somehow managed to wrap the other band of paper towels around the payload like a stork might wrap a baby so that it can carry it in its beak. I made my way up to the top of the 20-foot tall, 45-degree slope from my backyard that leads into the neighbor's yard. Put one of my combat boots into the chicken wire that's along the bottom side of the fence and hurled my shit into the neighbor's pool. And it was a lot of shit. And as I was there, I thought to myself, I have change from the Taco Bell. I did order chalupas twice, after all, and sorted out the change in one hand so that I just had the pennies and threw those into the pool as well, because why not? I'm done playing. I'm going to fight you now. I didn't really notice until about 3 months had passed, but it just occurred to me one Saturday night as I went into, the side yard to go have a cigarette. When's the last time I heard these Nimrods blasting a bunch of music? Been a minute, hadn't it? I wonder if someone got in trouble. I wonder if maybe what Homeboy was saying about the parties on the weekends might have had some validity. Because when this dude came back to his house on a Sunday, I assume he wasn't very happy about the pennies and the shit in his pool. And really, who is really gonna think, I bet the neighbors did this? I bet the neighbors shit in my dang old pool. No, there was never any suspicion. And this is a long time ago. Statute of limitations is up on this. That's why I'm even talking about it at this point. Yeah, no one could do nothing about this. Yeah, it would be really funny if my neighbor found out, just years and years later. If you just happen to find this video, the house that lived below you on Gracefield. Yeah, remember the guy you called the cops on because I was shooting an airsoft gun and using a bow and arrow in my backyard and shooting into a brick wall at the base of a 20-foot tall, 45-degree dirt slope, which is basically what a shooting range is in the first place. Yeah, remember when you called the cops on me for that? Because I was using firearms within city limits? Yeah, I shit in your pool. I did that. I'm not sorry and I don't regret it. Cheers. Always try to use diplomacy first. Always try to talk your way out of something. Always try to de-escalate and resolve by talking about things first. But when it is evident and you are shown that spoken words will not be heard, sometimes it is necessary to communicate in a different way. And in this particular case, I had to protect the sanctity of my ailing, dying father's head and mind on his sick bed that eventually would become his deathbed. For taking a shit in the neighbor's pool. I did that. Think whatever you will of me. I don't care. I'm not saying I'm proud of what I did. I'm just saying I don't regret it. Anyway, thanks for listening. Appreciate your time. And if you live next to me, don't piss me off. Anyway, God bless.